So I am an almost totally blind former carnival owner and was involved in the business with my family for over 15 years. When my father passed away due to lung cancer, we weren't ready to run the carnival by ourselves, and within a few years, we were out of business. I needed something to do with myself, so I did the only thing I thought I knew at that time, which was I started to help other people sell their surplus equipment. And people said I had to have a website. So in order to have a website in 2007, the only option for a blind person was to teach themselves to code HTML, which is how I got online. And as you know, having an online business, whether it's a podcast or you're selling products, there are so many things you have to learn how to do or find somebody to do for you. And people were inspired by the challenges and the way I took them on with joy. They encouraged me to share more about being a blind entrepreneur, and that led to the Blind Blogger, which was a name people were using for me online at the time, mainly because most people with disabilities were hiding their challenges out of fear that they would be stigmatized and they would not find success in this relatively new platform we call the internet. But, being the son of carnies, I was out there and never thought nothing about it. And recently learned that because I've been open about my disability for so long, I gave other people the freedom and the courage to put themselves out there openly with whatever disability or challenges they may have. Besides the blind blogger, I started out doing life goals coaching. People didn't want me to do that, so I started getting paid to book people on podcasts. And that kind of led me to accessibility because in 2021, Alex Sanfilippo started Podmatch. And since I was operating a service to get people booked, I was like, well, any place I can find more good shows is a good thing. But I was disappointed that it was not accessible. So started having conversations with Alex. We figured out some workarounds. I provided advice on a volunteer basis, and later came on as part of the advisory board, as you mentioned. But we fixed, things as we could, and when we couldn't fix them in the short term, we came up with ways to work around them. And then I would be responsible for communicating those to existing customers or potential customers. And that's where it started. Along the way, AudioEye.com, which is an enterprise level company in the accessibility arena, talked me into going to work as a writer for their website and later as a quality assurance person for some of their clients. And I say talk me into it because when they first approached me about going to work, I tried to talk them out of hiring me. I didn't feel like I was qualified or that I really wanted to be in accessibility, but they won me over. And for the last 4 or 5 years, I've been writing for various publications. I've done public speaking. I sing and write songs as part of my continuing growth as the blind blogger. And I even have a song called The Accessibility Advantage for my podcast now. And basically, I just keep doing the next thing. I figure out a way to overcome the obstacles. But I really wish that I didn't have to overcome the obstacles, which is why I do my best to help people understand why it is in their best interest to embrace accessibility or to improve existing accessibility. And I feel like that's the great niche for me in this whole discussion, because there's a whole lot of people approaching accessibility from the point of view of compliance, of lawsuits, of negative publicity campaigns. I'm probably one of the few that's like, let's talk about the benefits.